Mrs. Philomena Wanjadu. I am a social entrepreneur, a teacher, and a child's coach.
Good day, guys. My name is Prince Yure. I'm a tradesperson for Flour Mills of Nigeria, and I love philanthropy and generally impacting in the lives of people. Okay, so listeners, today we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that is how parents impact the lives of their children emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. So I'm here with Mrs. Phil to help us dissect and really understand the role parents get to play in such an important topic. Good evening.
Hi.
So generally, we're trying to figure out, or let me say really elaborate on the impact parents have on the lives of their kids in these three areas: intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually.
Thanks very much, Prince, because they say you are what you learn. I am a Christian because my parents were Christians. I learned to pray because I saw my parents praying. I have morals because I saw my father showed some form of morals, and my mother tried, trying to put me in a certain way, saying, "Oh, this is the way to go. That's not the way to go." So it's really important, this topic we're discussing today, to look at how parents truly influence their children in this certain way. I used to say to my daughter, thank God your parents are Christians. And like the Bible, Holy Book says, train a child the way he should grow. When he grows up, he cannot depart from it. So it's whatever you give them that they'll become. So we're really going to look at today how, as parents, we can raise them to be spiritually sound, to be emotionally sound, and then just be all-rounder.
Okay. Thank you very much for that insight. And from my own end, I would like to state that one issue that I've seen about this sort of thing is that some parents tend to be judgmental.
Yes.
Growing up, it's natural for you to make mistakes.
Yes.
Maybe sway a little bit, or
Yeah.
so. Some parents, instead of providing that guidance that the child needs, they just tend to just condemn you, and then you feel so hurt. So you tend to pull away from them as your parents, and then you cling into, and you might even go and pair up with those bad
Influence,
and then it gets more intense from there. So
Yes.
these are some of the things that I think that parents should look into, because it's very important to listen to your kids. Listen to them as much as you have things to say, advice and guidance and wisdom to give them. You also need to hear what they have to say to you. So that's what it feels like from my own end. So I don't know how you can tell us how you try to also guide your kids.
So how I try to model this, and how I try to tell our parents, to parents of the children of the club I manage, is I try to say, instead of the things you hear repetitively become an image in your head. So instead of saying to that child, "You're so foolish," instead of saying to that child, "You're so slow," use words like, "I think you should be faster. I think you can be smarter. I think you can be, you can walk with a certain pace." Children like to hear what they need to do. That's why, some research will tell you, when you are sending a child on an errand, don't send them with multiple questions. You say, "Oh, get me my bag." Inside the blue bag, you get the child gets there and the child is confused. It's the same way they go on in life, and they enter the world and they are confused. They don't know what to do. So instead of saying, "Every day you're always going out, you're playing football," call the child up and tell the child, "Do you know if you spend 1 hour reading your book every day, you'll be this?" That is what replays in the child's memory when the child is alone. "Do you know that if you can just come back from school, take your shoes to where they should be, nobody will shout at you to say, 'Oh, you left your shoes this way,' or 'You didn't clean it up the next day,' or 'You won't find it the next morning when you are going to school.'" So we model the right, we model them, telling them the right things to do. The more you say it, the more it sticks. It becomes a pattern in them.
Yeah, that's very true. So moving on to this part of the discussion, how parents care too much for their kids. Sometimes you might feel you're doing the right thing, and then you're not doing the right thing the right type of way. So you end up either spoiling your kids or making them too entitled to things. I see cases where parents choose everything for their kids, from their school to what they study, to where they
Work.
they work,
To
to
even
where
where they
they serve and stuff like that. So times we see cases where parents care too much for their kids, and then it's almost like you're doing the right thing, but you're not doing it in the right type of way. So this also leads to a lot of entitlement in kids that help them, that not doesn't really help them in a lot of ways. So I don't know if you have some things to tell us about that.
Yes, a lot of children grow up with a form of entitlement today because of the privileges the parents are given, you know. The way we are raising our children nowadays is not the way our parents raised us.
Sure.
There were some things they hindered us from. Those things were to help our growth. Those things were to help our expectations. You know, nowadays children don't know how to exercise patience because they believe anything that they desire they'll get.
Okay.
It's not like in those days where anything you want, you know, you have to wait for it. You have to learn to be patient. You have to even have this mindset of saying if it comes, then you're very grateful because you're not expecting it.
Sure.
But nowadays, children are so quick to even, if you notice, you buy a child maybe today the latest toy game or something, and then tomorrow the child is already desiring another thing. You know, they are getting used to this I can get it all mindset, and these things go a long way to hamper a child's growth and destroy their mode of thinking.
Sure.
You know, some parents are suffocating their children with so much gifts. Some children now they use the latest phone, which shouldn't be. But when you have a parent who himself has an entitlement mentality, feels, oh, because my friend's daughter has a phone, why can't my child have a phone? Because you're not laying down the morals. You know, I have children, and what I tell my daughter is, we would use mobile phone until we get to a certain age, so it is clear.
Sure.
Everybody's on the same page. We know this is our value, and we know this is why we are doing what we are doing. So even when she goes out tomorrow and she finds her friends are using the latest mobile phone, she's not feeling that she's not being loved or she's not wealthy enough, in quotes. You know, some parents are trying to show off these days. She just understands that it's a mentality of, I can't have it now.
No.
Because I understand why my mom feels I can't have it now. You know, so all these things we do for our children because maybe we want to match up.
True.
We're only just giving them tools to destroy themselves. Because tomorrow, when they face the real world, God gives us, I pray God give us all good life and we're there to model them. But what if you are not, going to be there for them all the time? When do you now want them to think for themselves, to stand up for themselves, to take decisions for themselves, to understand that I don't just get things because I want it. I get things because I earned it. Me, I like using that word in my house. You have to earn
something.
But after earning it, we have to be sure it's the right thing for you. And then we have to be sure that it's going to lead you in a positive way and not in a negative way. So that way you end up setting the child right, knowing that even when I go out tomorrow and I cannot have what my mates have, it is not because I don't deserve it. Or it's not because my parents can't afford it. They just know genuinely that, oh, it is because I don't need it at a time like this. So when you start to model children like that, that's when you see adults who grow up into a space of not getting influenced by what their friends are doing. We see a lot of young people today, because my friend drives a certain kind of car, I want to drive it. Why do you even need a car? You don't even know. Or why should I get that certain type of car? You know, these things are entitlement mentality, but they don't know. Subconsciously, they play it out. And that's where they start to lose self-confidence. You come to a place and maybe you're with some friends, they have some certain things to show off. You don't have.
You don't have them.
You know, instead of you knowing your worth and your value, but then you're seeing it from the side of maybe because they will think I'm poor. They will think I've not arrived yet. And then trying to prove you go and be doing the wrong thing.
Because I've seen cases where I have some people around me that this guy he told me personally that he cannot go out if he doesn't have money. And I'm like, what if somebody invites you out? He said he'll still not be that confident to go out. And I'm like, okay, but are you ready to do the work to get the money? What plans do you have to make the money? It is not an issue of you getting money now.
Yes.
What plans are you laying down to make sure you get that money? So there are different cases of this popping up all over the place.
The mindset.
Yes, and then we're building it in the wrong way.
Yes.
Actually, we're building it in a way that parents now see it as, oh, I didn't give my child enough love,
Yes.
or I should have made everything comfortable for my child to have. So I think that even leads us to the aspect of growth mindset.
Yes.
So growth intentionally, growth is intense, right? You have to say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do this and this and that, and then you start to build. So a lot of parents don't allow their children to fail. So hereby giving them that entitlement mentality we're talking about. So you need to help your children to grow. It's very important. But I think most parents don't know how to
do it
because they just feel that, oh, this is the way I can show my child love. All the things I didn't have, my child would get it. And then kids growing up now are not the same as kids that grew up back then.
Yes.
So they're exposed to different kinds of things, different challenges. So I think it's important to let your child learn things, fail, conflict resolution,
yes,
and a lot of other things. So I don't know if you have some like to share.
Okay, so there's a question I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
Should you be at fault, maybe to a child or to your child, would you be free to apologize?
That's not easy.
But you know, that's one practice I do every day because I want to also let my child know that I am not perfect.
Okay.
You know, when my child came home one day and said something funny that her teacher was wrong. She knew he was wrong, but he blamed her for it. You know, and I said to her, I'm so grateful to God for you that you can spot this. Do you know why? But it's because I have taught you that I too am not perfect. That's why you're expecting him, but he doesn't know it. So I said to her, don't blame him. So what do you want us to do? You know, I said to her, do you want me to talk to him? And she said, no. She'll bring it up another day. I said, perfect. Because he wasn't taught that way. He wasn't raised that way. So you know, our parents are always right. They can never be wrong.
Never.
You know? But then how do you want to teach a child that the child can grow too if you yourself don't let the child know that you too can be vulnerable?
True.
You know, so I think being a role model for them in that aspect can also help them to understand that whatever I am today, I can be better. Whatever I am today, I shouldn't feel ashamed. You know, some people expect, that at a certain age, you should have attained this. I want to tell my child that even at this age that I am still learning. I am still evolving. I'm still open to ideas. You know, and I'm still willing to be better. You know, when you set those kind of rules, right? You're putting in the child's head that no matter what happens, you too can apply same rules and be better.
Still be better.
And give
function,
better. Yes.
Function well in the society. Because growing up, I discovered that most of the people I grew up with, right now, the ones that you would least expect are now having, you know, good jobs and going on with their lives. But the other ones that were feeling like, this guy on better, and so they are now the ones that are just still there, expecting their parents to do a lot of things for them. And I'm happy that my parents didn't really hand me everything that I needed.
Exactly.
My dad always told us that the only thing I can offer you kids is education.
Yes.
I didn't have that, and I made this. And I will give you that. That's the only equipment, that's the only weapon, tool I can give you to go out and live your life, achieve whatever you want to achieve. What I'm here for is support. And I think most parents, they forget that they are guidance to those kids.
Yes.
You are not just supposed to live their lives for them. You're just supposed to guide them and show them the right path. It's their choice to follow and make their own mistakes and learn along the way. So I think it's a very important
So
part.
you know how nowadays our parents are very busy. It's not their fault. The bills now is more. Responsibilities now is more. So they have to keep up and meet up. And so it's now helping them falter at those things that are important for the children. Spending time. Parents no longer spend time with their children, you know, because the time is not there. They go to work in the morning, they come back in the evening, you know, you still have things to do, and then you're not raising children. You're just existing as a parent and as a child, and everybody's just going. You know how time is going. You know, so there are some things parents can put in place to check all those things, to checkmate all those things. One, school run. School run time is very, very important for me. You see, school run time, I don't take mobile calls. If you call me, I won't pick your call. I can talk to you later. I want to maximize that 15 to 20 minutes with my children. Let's talk. I want to know what's in their hearts. I want to know what they wish. I want to know what their goals are. I want to know how their day at school was. You know, I want to know what challenges they face. Let me have conversations with them. Because, you know, by the time you get home, one or two things, chores, plates, cooking, dinner, that time, you know, and all that, you'll be busy. So that time you're conformed to that car. Utilize it. And then sometimes some parents are not there. They come back from work because of this whole mobile phone. You have internet, you can continue, you know.
From home.
There's no discipline. Parents are still on their phone. So you're there, you're not there. So the child comes and sees that you're on your phone. The child is not free to talk to you. Children like to know that you are free. Yes. And then they come, they like to talk. and they will say a lot of things. That's when you get to even hear those that have been abused, that have been threatened. You know, the reason why an abused child cannot come to you is because the person that is threatening the child has an upper power to the child than you. The person is spending time with the child. The person is building some mindset in the child's head that if you talk, I'll kill you. So the child is forced to believe the person more than you. But as a parent, if you can intentionally build this relationship with them, they will come up to us with their fears, with their doubts, with their worries, and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
You know? And I want to believe things can get better that way. So you know how you're a graduate, you're a mechanical engineer. You couldn't find a job, let's put for instance now. No job, no employment, no attachment. And then you're sitting at home every day, calling yourself, a mechanical engineer graduate, no job. But then, the mechanic man, or rather, let's use the label word then, the roadside mechanical engineer is making money every day, fixing people's car, even fixing your car. Does it not scare you at times to wonder, what did I really go to school to study? Do you know, as a graduate, if you can take advantage of that occupation, you'll be better than him. I give you an instance. Your car breaks down. You know your friend who is a graduate. And you call him and you say, this car no green start. I don't know what is happening. And he tells you, don't worry, leave it there. I will send my towing van to come and pick it up. Because you know he's trained, you can trust him. And then he gets his towing van, they pick the car from where you had the issue to the workshop, fixes the car. Even if he gives you 100,000 naira, do you know you will pay? Because one, he has learned to take away stress from you. He has learned to present the solution to you in a way you can understand. And then he has given you his trust. That this person is not, he has sense. And then even though he might be more expensive than the local man, the service he's giving you is something far better than what that man is giving. So tomorrow you will not go back to that, you will go to him. So let me tell you, in that field, he can dominate. What he was taught in school, he can now come to the real world and apply it and be better than that. And now show the mechanic man why there's a difference between me and you. This is why I went to school, not only to fix.
Just to learn.
He cannot become the manager. No problem. Nobody is saying you must go under the car to fix the things. No, you now employ boys that work for you. Then your management skills now plays out for you.
Sure.
He cannot sit down and tell the man, okay, we'll go sort them out later, knowing that there's something called internet banking. So the man is seeing that, it's not this one they say pay before you fix. This man knows what flexibility is about. This man understands the times we are in. Do you get? And then this man is willing to give me some time to do something. So who doesn't like better thing? Everybody, before you know it, will become somebody very rich.
It's true.
This thing applies to all other skill and social area. You see a mass communication student. She comes out from school and saying there's no job. We are saying there's social media every day. No, people are looking for who will manage their pages. People are looking for who will teach their children presentation skills. So there's a billion and one things you can do with yourself. But because you don't know how to apply these things, you come out and you join the number of Nigerian youths that are unemployed.
And then you see spaces on social media where people just highlight the good parts of their lives and showcase those ones to us. And they're all like, once when I was in school, a friend of mine showed me a video of 3 girls, and she said those girls bought a house in the Caribbean and they are living life. And I'm like, so why are you watching them? What are they actually inspiring you to do? They are not showing you how they make the money.
Exactly.
They are just showing you how they're enjoying themselves. You already know how to enjoy themselves. So more or less, the videos you should be actually looking for are videos that would empower you, build you up with the knowledge to go out and make your own money. Good for her. Right now, she's doing a lot of good things for herself. So I'm very happy. So I think with time we should get to learn the aspects of our lives that need improvements. Okay. We can't always wait for the government to do things for us. And I think that's one part of this entitlement mentality that we need to look upon, because the government can only do so much. Even if you go to the US, if you can't work, you can't work.
Exactly. You have bills waiting for you.
If you can't work, you can't work. The government can't come and pay you. During COVID, right? I saw the guy, he went to the ATM and then he withdrew some money that the government paid them as kind of like palliative money. just for survival. And then it was like, in my country, they can't do this and that and this and that. And in my mind, I said, but you're not in your country. Coming to the crux of our discussion right now, we're trying to say that entitlement spreads across different areas of your life. So I think it's important, generally from my end, as a youth, I think it's important for us to develop the habit of learning. You have to learn. You have to lay down steps and develop the patience that you need to achieve what you want to achieve. Most things can happen overnight, right? Social media is not everything. Yes, we like to catch crews and play around and do stuff on social media, have fun, but it shouldn't take you away from the real aspect of your life that says that you have a life to build, you have a family to care for, and you have your own conviction as a person to look upon. So it's a lot of things put together, but from my own experience, the entitlement does not help at all. And I think you would agree, Mrs. Phil.
Oh, of course I do. My advice to the youth is please just be responsible for your life. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to come to rescue you. Sure. The reason why we were sent to school is so that we can get educated and become responsible. So now you're an adult and you still do not want to be independent. I think if we can sit down and intentionally tell ourselves, I want to be better, set goals for yourself, go out to train yourself, look out to be the best version for yourself. Do not feel, don't feel ashamed to ask for help, but be willing to grow. Instead of having the entitlement mindset, have the growth mindset. You want to be best in your sphere. If it's not working, be willing to switch to another one. You still have time as a youth, but use this time as a youth to build yourself, And then for the parents, I would advise, the way we were raised is not the way we can raise our children. These children of nowadays are different. And if we do not put in the right tools, we'll end up raising chaos for the next generation. So parents should study. These issues, these problems that the society is dealing with today, we are the cause of it because we are the one raising these children the way they should go. So I would advise parents to research, go for seminars, study, build yourself, be willing to learn, so that you can effect proper rules to these children.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And personally, I've learned a lot from our talk. So I hope the parents out there have also learned from what we talked about, and then they can look into it and see how we can build better kids for the future. I thank you very much, Ma. It was really, really nice.
Thank you too. It was insightful one. I had fun too.
I hope you'll be on our subsequent.
I look forward to it. Okay. I look forward to it.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
My name is Oma Merem Mwajaku, and my hobbies are singing, dancing, playing my piano, and reading books. So I think parents should work together, and I think they should share things with one another and also give an equal interest to their children. My advice to parents is that they should teach their children good morals so they can go out and, not disgrace their family name. Then I think they should try and agree with one another in decisions they are trying to make for their children. Like, baby, I want ice cream. I go to my dad. I say, Daddy, please, I want ice cream. He says yes, but then my mom finds out. She says no, and I'm very angry because I won't get the ice cream at the end of the day. And I think my responsibilities as a child is to look after my younger brother and teach him some things he ought to know, and practice the morals my parents teach me. Thank you.
I'm here with Mr. Ogo, yes, the Senior Director in charge of Child Support and Enjoyment. Nice to meet you, sir. So what do you think about the consistent rise in food prices in the nation?
How? What's he called?
It's giving me headache. Alright. Oh. Yeah. Round of applause. That was a spectacular performance, sir. That speech was life changing. So that's all from our end, from Mr. Ogo. I hope you guys learned a lot from him. These are very, systematic words and words of wisdom. So thank you very much, sir. We appreciate. Thank you very, very, very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate, sir.